We're talking to Andrew Woskett, Managing Director at Demetallica. Demetallica is a polymetals explorer active in Queensland and South Australia. Andrew, how long have you been the Managing Director of Demetallica?
Well, since prior to its listing back in May this year. So I was responsible for separating Demetallica out of Minotaur Exploration and getting it listed on the ASX.
What did you do before this?
I was instrumental in separating Demetallica out of Minotaur and orchestrated a takeover of Minotaur by Andromeda Metals, and then those two businesses went their separate ways.
Why is Demetallica solely focused on Queensland and South Australia?
Well, those jurisdictions are undeniably the copper-rich provinces of Australia. South Australia, of course, has got the Olympic Dam Domain, the Gawler Craton, a host of very large mines here mining copper gold. Queensland, around the Mount Isa area, the Mount Isa block as it's called, which includes Cloncurry, is a very well famous jurisdiction for copper and a host of other mineralisation styles.
How does the company leverage its strengths in these locations?
We've got a long track record of exploration in both these jurisdictions. We've learnt over time how to capitalise on the geology, the geophysics and the geochemistry and apply that knowledge to exploration.
In 10 seconds, can you describe Demetallica's overall mission?
It's very simple. It's to create wealth for shareholders through spectacular mineral discovery.
What makes Demetallica stand out from its competitors?
Track record. We've been doing this business for 25 odd years. We've had some very significant discoveries in the past. We're currently working on another big discovery we made a couple of years ago, and that is rolling out, and it's going to become a very substantial copper project in North Queensland.
What is Demetallica's key exploration asset in Queensland?
Yes, and I just alluded to that, and that is the Jericho copper gold deposit near Cloncurry. That's a 9.1 million tonne in the ground copper deposit, grading 1.4% copper. A very sizable, very robust and cohesive resource.
What's one big thing about Demetallica that people may not know?
The Jericho copper resource is probably the only undeveloped copper resource in Australia that has nearby proximal access to a concentrator. So you need a processing plant to treat the ore that comes out of the mine. Jericho is unique in the sense that it has a processing facility virtually next door.
What's on the cards for the company moving forward?
Well, we're completing a significant drill program at Jericho right now. We're about 75% of the way through that program. It will be complete early August. That's a 15,000 metre drill program. We're going to publish a new JORC resource upgraded estimate in October of this year.
Where do you see Demetallica in 1 year's time?
Well, on the back of that resource upgrade, we'll then roll that out next year into a scoping study. So by this time next year, we should have been able to articulate a preliminary economic analysis for Jericho as a standalone underground and perhaps shallow surface open pit mine.
And what about in 5 years' time?
We would then extend that exercise into development of an operation. So in about 5 years' time, I'd like to think that we have got a new underground mining operation underway at Jericho, delivering high-grade copper ore to the surface and potentially feeding that in on a toll treating basis to any one of several copper concentrators in the Cloncurry region.
Andrew Woskett, Managing Director at Demetallica. Thanks for your time.
My pleasure, thank you.